Hello, my friends. Happy to be back at yourvision.blog. And today I have a fantastic guest, Florian Wimmer, the CEO and co-founder of BlockBit, a fantastic company from Austria to make all your crypto taxes. Hello, and happy to have you here, Florian. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, George. Yeah, thank you for the invitation and glad to be here. As you said, I am one of the founders and CEO of BlockBit. About myself, short introduction. So I have a tech background, but then started after my studies working at KPMG. So complete opposite of what I was actually learning in software engineering. Went into taxes and basically pretty much touched with crypto assets early on in 2015. And so this trilemma of I'm a software engineer, I know about taxation, and I have crypto was probably why I was one of the first people who actually got a little bit of a panic when then the Financial Ministry of Austria in 2017 issued the first statements about crypto taxation, which then led to the foundation of the company. So that's basically the last 10 years in a nutshell.
So, Florian, you founded this fantastic company, and this year you got mentioned as EY Entrepreneur of the Year. That's really fantastic. How was it as your name was mentioned?
So it was not just me, it was also my co-founder Gerd. So we are two of the original founders that are still remaining after 8 years with the company. And obviously this event is amazing. What EY is doing here, it's definitely the coolest, most fancy event I've been so far. Bar the smoking for the gala, and you're sitting on a table there. It's kind of like at the Oscars. And then they call the winner and the spotlight goes to your table, right? And everybody's looking at you. It's a little bit like in a dream. Obviously, super fantastic feeling. You just hug your co-founder. You went to go up to the stage. Still, obviously, a little nervous even after 8 years of doing this. You get a tingly feeling, but yeah, it's amazing. My wife was with me and a lot of other people that I know, and yeah, just amazing, cool feeling.
I think it was a very fancy event, very beautiful, everybody wearing beautiful clothes. And how did you spend the evening?
So obviously great food, great conversations with a lot of people, everybody there, entrepreneurial background, right? So you have a lot of things that you have in common. You can exchange what you've been doing so far, the biggest challenges. And then after the award ceremony, there were multiple categories. So we won the Entrepreneur of the Year in the startup category. There were 4 other categories in sustainability, social impact, and so on. Amazing companies as well. There's a lot of hidden champions that we have in Austria that you don't really know about, but amazing stories. And they really prepared this. They went to their offices and made videos with the team and gave a little bit of insight in the company. So you had great conversation starters. And then obviously you end up at a bar, and I think it was 3 a.m. when I finally hit the bed.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is something you have to celebrate really, and also to show the world what you achieved here. You achieved really something great, which was not only mentioned by EY, it's also a fantastic solution. Can you tell us a little bit about the company, what you're doing?
Sure. So in the beginning, I said what my own problem was. So you get into crypto, and if you do a lot of investing or some other stuff as well, crypto is 10x, the volatility, the action. And so I guess most people, the first touch point with Bitcoin, and I also did when I started like mining Bitcoin in my cellar. So you hardware packages, it's like a PC, and you put it in your cellar. It's super loud, super hot, but it basically provides electricity for the Bitcoin network, and then you get rewarded in your cryptocurrency them on the market. And once you deal with that, then you get interested in what is blockchain technology, right? How does this work? What can you do? So the technical part, but also the investment part. And in 2017, there was the first big crypto hype where Bitcoin went from 1,000 euros to 20,000 euros within a year. So everybody crazy. And then other crypto assets came around, Ethereum and ICOs, initial coin offerings. So basically paints projects on the decentralized internet. And I went crazy in investing all of different assets, and it was not that easy back then. So you had to create an account on Asian exchanges and stuff to get to those assets, and ended up with I think 20 different exchange accounts, hundreds of assets, thousands of transactions, and some gains, right? So as it was a great market, it's almost impossible to lose money at that point in time. Everything went up, but then the tax year is over, and people from my firm and also others asked me like, how do you do taxes? And I was like, there was no real possibility. I put up an Excel sheet, but if you do an Excel sheet by hand with thousands of transactions, you're probably going to make a mistake in the first 20. I asked advisors as well, and nobody back then, which kind of prompted a solution, and there was none. So what we built back then was basically a two-part. So first, the data aggregation, exchanges, blockchain wallets, so getting all the different data from your transaction history to a software. So you have a documentation, which is super important because you need to know what you have been doing. And then the other part is the tax calculation. So once you have this documentation, you can have an algorithm that's basically based on the law of the country and says, if you did this and sold it, acquisition cost, and then realized gain, the difference. It's simple. It's really complex per country, but that's the second. Build a web app, mobile app that basically does this for the crypto investor. That's how we started out for the Austrian crypto investor. So it was really solving our own problem. And over the last 8 years, so we started in 2017 with this, we developed obviously into other countries, tending to a little bit over 10 countries where we are engaging in the European Union and the US, and then to other products. So we are serving government agencies, for example, institutions, so with the accounting, but also forensic analysis. So everything around the topic of taxation, assets, so enabling through software the calculation, but also optimization for the end user, right? There's always the opportunity to save taxes if you know what you're doing, the value that we bring with our solution.
And the solution is for companies or for individuals?
Individuals, companies, authorities. So basically those are the three main targets. We do have a lot of partnerships with the institutions. So exchanges, they don't use our solution, but implement our solution for their users so that they also can do their tax declaration in the crypto space.
Okay. So are you allowed? Which exchanges are using your solution for the clients?
I think like 7 million users, one of the first huge partners almost 6 years ago. They were really pro in dealing with the top, most of them at last day. But we also have a Bybit, Deribit, list, I think, partners right now that are creating our software to their users, where we also have ongoing cooperation to have the data flow as smoothly as possible, because obviously they are all developing as well, new products, new assets on, and the interface to their direction to aggregate the data always has to be up to date. So it prompts a close cooperation.
Oh, that's great. So if an individual has also some cryptos in an offline wallet, not on an exchange, he can buy your solution and use it to make the tax declaration.
So we do have, on the one side, centralized data, which is on the exchanges, right? It's financial institutions like the bank, they hold your transaction data. But then you have the new part, which is the decentralized data, which is directly on the blockchain. You have your own wallet, but the blockchain is a ledger. See, all transactions will be made from anywhere. You just know which ad belongs to which person, which is not public knowledge. But if you use our software, you just need to pass in your address and we can basically read out your transaction history from the blockchain. And you don't even have to buy ours for this. So it's really a freemium model. Just getting documentation in order, it's completely free. So you make an account, connect your wallets, you connect your exchange accounts, you get all the transaction history in there. And then I would say you're 90% there because the tiresome part is getting your documentation in order. The tax calculation afterwards, that complicated, right? It's just a click of a button and calculate my taxes and generate a report. For that, you have to pay. Obviously, we need to earn money somewhere, but we want to onboard you, have your document order, at least in preparation. Just want to wait until letter from the financial ministry that are proactive and get the letter, which is my approach as well, to get on the list of the authorities of some potentially evaded tax. But at least once you have your documentation already in order. So that's just like my approach to everybody. You don't know euro, just make your account, get it in order, because it's going to get harder the longer you wait.
That's a very good advice, that you do the tax declaration by yourself and give it to the authority and not waiting for the letter from the authority.
Yeah, because that will come. We are in the crypto space, so it's a new technology and relation always has right. So there's innovation first, and is doing what we want in the wild west of innovation. But then the regulator comes and regulates, and this is necessary. And especially in the masters of regulation, say that's what we do best. And now we had the first huge regulation for crypto, which is it's basically the counterpart regulation of securities. MiFID is basically for just traditional stocks and securities. MiCA for the assets, which really enables all the global exchanges to be active in Europe. And the next one that's coming, and that's a big one for us, is the CARF, the Crypto Asset Framework, which is going into effect on 1st of January 2026. What this does, it is forces all the exchanges, every financial service provider that deals with crypto, to report their users' data, including transaction data, to the local authorities. So wherever you are trading in the world, and even if there's the Seychelles or Panama or the US or Hong Kong, they will have to report your data on that exchange to the Austrian authorities if you're an Austrian tax resident, or to the German authorities if you're a German tax resident. So we will see a lot of tax enforcement coming in the next years, which just isn't for crypto. So I think less than 3% of traders actually do the tax if you did yours yet, but it's going to be a way for a lot of people.
So this is really now a wake-up call for all crypto holders in the European Union to make the tax declaration by end of this year, because CARF is coming. What is the connection between CARF and DAC 8?
So CARF is the global framework from the OECD, and DAC 8, so you're well informed that the Directive on Administrative Cooperation, the 8th Amendment, is EU directive under which this will be in the Europe. So it's just a name, it's exactly the same thing, but in the EU.
Okay, so let's say for United States, they have to follow the same rules like the people in European Union.
Exactly. Under CARF, everybody has a framework that they need to apply to report. It's the same data standard, XML format, so that is really efficient for information exchange between authorities in over 70 countries have basically joined this, and this includes all the big countries, all the OECD countries, EU and Europe, obviously, but also those island states where most of the big exchanges are actually regulated. Seychelles, I think, holds 80% all crypto exchange world. So their authorities will have a lot to do and to all the countries.
Okay, so big changes are coming. In my opinion, this is very good to check it, what's going on here, because cryptos are still used a lot for criminals and also for, was it jetzt so? Oder lassen wir das weg mit den Kriminellen?
Das ist schon ein bisschen überholt. Das ist schon immer so.
Nein, schon.
Tatsächlich viel weniger genutzt für kriminelle Aktivitäten als wir.
Naja, wir haben jetzt ein nächstes Modul für den Islamismus. Die machen schon noch viel. Also der IS hat einmal alle Kryptokonten auflassen und jetzt sind sie wieder aktiv. Na, aber das ist dann mal weg. So in the future there will not be any difference if you have your investment in fiat or in crypto. Everything will be the same. And yeah, also the authorities, they have seen crypto is not for criminals. It's a good investment which the people are using. And do you see, will there be any differences between the European Union and Switzerland?
There's always differences. There will also be differences within the European Union in the member states. So especially for the DAC 8, it's a directive, it's regulation. It's not like it's how it is and everybody's implemented, but it's like a directive. You have to do this at least in that way, but you can do local amendments. And this will happen, obviously, in different countries in the EU, but especially in countries that are outside of the EU. Base of what's going to happen, it's the same everywhere. So the data form will be the same. It wouldn't make sense to print data format, and the hurdles and bureaucracy will kill everything. So if you see now that the adoption is almost similar in most countries, a little differentiation.
To get informed, to get all the latest news, please click for the newsletter of yourvision.blog and also click here on the channel for the bell, and that you get always the latest information of yourvision.blog. And also below you will find the contacts of Florian. To contact him if you have a specific request, that you can contact him directly. So Florian, you already told us about the company, why you founded the company. Let's come to the most important question of this channel. What is your vision?
So we defined a vision quite early in the company, and we have this vision statement, which is basically to bring trust efficiency in the financial system of the future. So we believe thing will be on the blockchain in the years to this merging of the traditional financial markets and technology. So that's what we call the financial future. It's actually new possibilities, the distributed, it's going away from clearing houses and the structure we have in traditional banking. And these processes have a lot of potential, but you need software and solutions to get the maximum. We see ourselves as a relevant and major to make this happen. So we are really working towards becoming part of this standard for information exchange, curation, compliance, just digital assets overall. You never can do anything, but part is going to be a major one. And obviously focusing on Europe first but we're going to expand, also going to cover all the assets. So it really products everybody in the world, no matter where and in which asset they can use and get a benefit out of it in terms of tax reporting, but also tax optimization, sorts, proofs, and so on. So just be a co-pilot in your journey to stay compliant and grow the company while staying in Austria. So if there is a chance that we have new markets, which is a big disadvantage right now for efficient capital, but we don't want to go to the US or wherever we want to be part of the journey of building great European capital markets. So that's also a way besides our products, just itself. And stay as small and efficient. We are 2 people right now and quite complex, and so much is possible at the moment that we believe can scale to this vision with this team as it is now.
That's really fantastic. Wow, a great vision. Is there anything you can use on their way? What are the hurdles? What they should do?
There are many hurdles, and we will have hurdles. Just be realistic, face them head on. I think most important thing is just stand up again. Keep the major differentiation between somebody who is not is successful, hasn't given up. You will backslash, and if you succeed, then you probably would just possible, right? To get time where you will be successful, and that's how it mostly is. Yeah, get the right people around you. So I think that just work with the right people. If you're free and fun and you're gonna get there, and see that the right people, then goodbye early. And just for the right people, it's also something that we had to learn. Trust your gut, and just don't compromise.
So you must have the best people around you to be so successful, being resilient.
Obviously. It's all the people.
So these are very good tips for startups. Thanks a lot, Florian. That's great. But how was it for you to found a company in Austria? Do you have any tips and hints for the government how to make it easier for startups?
There definitely are a few. I get asked a lot, like, would you, even though still that deal with, when we founded 8 years worse, have been the milestones reached in terms of digitalization and found a company in a few days, actually. But we still have, I think, not the most efficient forms. So we started as a company, a GmbH in Austria, Aktiengesellschaft, joint stock company, 2021. So we converted back with our Series A financing, and it was a great task, especially as a startup that needs financing. And to a development startup with your own product, you need just a few years to develop this so you can actually earn money. So you need external investment. The GmbH is good to set up early, but a lot of shareholders, stakeholders, it's getting a huge pain. Notary, and all that stuff that you need for everything. As a joint stock Gesellschaft, you just have the supervisory board, and you can be way more efficient in terms of just like the daily operations. There is to it, you need an auditor, right, and way more pressure in terms of preparing them. But get to a certain scale, need that anyways. At some point in time, these structures in terms of reporting. So now we have to like a little bit of a mixture between the AG and I never founded a Flexco. I know a few colleagues who did, and brings value, I think, to startups in participation, and that you can onboard investors without voting right, and that you cannot do a lot of things with just a lawyer, and you don't need notar. I still think it's not a really national recognition. I think maybe similar form of company structure on an date. So this is what I wish for, that we can standardize the founding process just like it. Because right now we are really special with what we have. It's not that you get in other countries in this form. So there's limited liability companies, but we are special in terms of like how bureaucratic the process is. That's definitely the thing where a lot of things to benefit if we can agreement on an EU level form of. And then taxes. So we have huge, extremely high income taxes for people in Austria. I think they're way too high. I think we need kind of solution for early stage companies regarding highest, like compared to all the other of income tax. So we don't really have an issue with but more spending of the tax revenue. So we control, and we could also lower taxes. It's a huge topic, and no tackle that because it's gonna on the short term. And nobody likes to introduce painful things in elections. we would need somebody bold to really take that step. Other than that, Austria is a great country, also for living. And you have education, we have really good. So in Austria, we are gonna get there to get those bureaucratic hurdles out of the way. Yeah, not too bad, but it could be way better.
That's a really good advice. Thanks a lot, Florian. And now an outlook into the future for cryptos and digital money, how do you think it will evolve in the next years?
No financial advice. Yeah. So I think we at this stage where it is a serious financial instrument. It took a while. We needed the regulation, but the blockchain technology is here. Coin is here to stay. It has been recognized as a global asset. It is a scarce asset that people can now, all institutions and fund invest in, and it's a new form of equity. A little bit. You have to be careful what you're in. Still is a little bit of a wild west out there. You can do a crypto. There's still a lot of things going around that are not as lit. So do your research, but it will become the norm asset, and you can recognize anymore. But then it's gonna be blockchain technology because it's just so much more than the financial system that we have at the moment. So it's gonna take over the financial markets, but also other applications without the end user actually knowing that technology is involved. It's going to be a huge topic for the industry. I think it's also going to be a huge cut to the whole AI. Playing around with AI a lot and developing, and it's getting better and better. And right now we already do this podcast without of us, just a few pictures and just generate podcast, the voice, the images, the video. I think you have to adapt and not fake content as fake content, but actually verify real content. And there is no better tool for verification than blockchain. So I think there is going to be a standard in the future where if the president says something, he also signs this message content on a blockchain, and the news outlets and social medias will have this check. Is this real content? And so this is like a huge topic where blockchain and AI will just have this synergy, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the combination of blockchain technology and AI, that's really fantastic. We will see also a lot of changes in the next years, I think. And the verification of real content is very important. And you can be sure here on yourvision.blog, everything is real. Thanks a lot, Florian, for your insights, your outlook, and again, all the best. And it's really fantastic that you achieved to be the EY Entrepreneur of the Year. That's really great. Congratulations. And
thank you.
All the best, Florian. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, and all the best to you too, of course.